The other big breaking news story we are following this Sunday night. After weeks of pressure to step aside from leaders in the Democratic Party tonight, President Joe Biden said that he will now end his bid for re-election. The announcement coming just months before Election Day. The 46th President of the United States breaking the news in a statement posted on X this afternoon, formerly known as Twitter, saying in part that, quote, while it has been my intention to seek re-election, I believe it is in the best interest of my party and the country for me to stand down and to focus solely on fulfilling my duties as president for the remainder of my term. I will speak to the nation later this week in more detail about my decision, end quote. In his announcement, President Biden giving his seal of approval to replace him to Vice President Kamala Harris. NBC's Alice Barr starts us off tonight from Washington.
President Biden today making the seismic decision to step out of the 2024 race for the White House, bringing an abrupt end to a half-century career in politics after a disastrous 90-minute debate raised serious questions about the 81-year-old's fitness for another term in office. In a statement posted on X, the president writing, quote, "It has been the greatest honor of my life to serve as your president, and while it has been my intention to seek re-election, I believe it is in the best interest of my party and the country for me to stand down and to focus solely on fulfilling my duties as president for the remainder of my term." Mr. Biden then endorsed his Vice President Kamala Harris for the nomination as the party scrambles to change course before next month's Democratic National Convention with just 4 months until the November election. One of the president's closest allies, Senator Chris Coons, reacting.
He has always put our country first. He has an incredible legacy of service and leadership.
In her own statement, Vice President Harris thanking the president for his service and his endorsement and saying it's her intention to earn and win this nomination and unite the Democratic Party. The news caps a tumultuous week, beginning with the attempted assassination of former President Trump. And after weeks of pressure from Democratic lawmakers increasingly anxious, Mr. Biden could not defeat Mr. Trump. The former president slammed President Biden in an interview with NBC News as the race hits an historic reset.
I don't know. I think that's this scary part of it all, is that we just don't know what anything's going to happen.
Propelling the nation into unknown territory. While President Biden has endorsed Vice President Harris, he cannot just hand her the delegates that he won during the primaries. They can still make their own choice. And while we've started to see a rush to back the vice president, someone else can still challenge for the nomination. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.